if you're in the police recruitment process in England and Wales, you're going to have to do something called the Online Assessment Centre, and studying this, the wheel of confusion, is not going to help. So we need to throw that away. It's just not going to be helpful at all. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about 3 mistakes that one of our clients made in the written exercise. This is a 2-hour exercise where you're going to write about how you're going to deal with a complex community policing problem. So let's dive in and talk about those 3 mistakes and how you can avoid those mistakes if you're going to be doing the Online Assessment Centre in the future. But first of all, before we continue, who am I? Why should you listen to anything I've got to say? My name is Brendan from Blue Light, and over the past 31 years, I've been coaching and supporting people just like you to succeed in promotion boards, specialist interviews, and over the past 15 years or so, especially in the recruitment process with a huge amount of success. Check out our Trustpilot reviews. We've got almost 800 5-star glowing reports about myself, my coaching team, everyone in the Blue Light team, and how we've helped support people to achieve their dreams. In our academy program that they're talking about in those reviews, they don't just talk about sort of online courses. They're talking about the one-to-one coaching and the small group practice webinars and the guarantee of a pass. If you'd like to find out more, there's a link to a form to complete at the very top of the description. Complete that form and we can have a discussion as to whether you're a good fit. All right, let's dive into the 3 things. So the first one, they didn't have a structured approach. So in the first draft of the written exercise that they completed, by the way, we set people an exercise which is, I don't know if it's the same, I don't even know if it's similar, but it's one that helps people succeed, and we give them 2 hours to do it in. Now, we don't sort of watch them online and do it. We just like give it the exercise to them, and very much like the Online Assessment Centre, there's no camera on you for this. We just say, all right, spend 2 hours dealing with this, and then we'll debrief it. So in the debrief, what I found was they'd not followed our guidance, and they're very new to our academy, so this is a bit like a diagnostic session for them. They'd not followed our guidance, had not followed a structured approach in their problem-solving efforts around this community-based problem. And so the problem-solving approaches that we utilize, we've actually enhanced them, are ones that the police utilize. It's ones that I've utilized as a neighbourhood inspector when I was 8 years as a neighbourhood inspector, and it's the SARA process. And that stands for scanning, analysis, response, and assessment. So what they've done is they've just dived deep into all the things they were going to do without thinking about the information gathering, which is the scanning, without thinking about the analysis involving your working group, involving members of community and partner agencies, without thinking about the response being more than just enforcement, and forgetting completely to do any form of assessment. We also use something called PAT, which is the problem analysis triangle. This is where in our analysis, we look at the incident from the perspective of the victim, the offender, and also the location. So that's a triangle. Okay, victim, offender, location. All right, so that was the first big mistake. The next mistake they made was that there's several issues raised in the written exercise. They've not dealt with each one of them. You need to demonstrate that you've understood all the information that they've given you, and you've got a structured approach for each one of the several issues that's been raised. They've completely forgotten about the community impact side of things, and that was missing. That would lead to a low scoring written exercise. Number 3, their solutions were all enforcement-based solutions. Now, in policing, sometimes enforcement is needed, but for most of the time, it isn't. For most of the time, a blend of different solutions will achieve the desired result, and enforcement might just be part of it. So one of the things I put together as a neighbourhood inspector all those years ago was something called TPAC. It's TEPAC, stands for Trust Building, Enforcement, Prevention, Advocacy, and Communication. So that in everything we do, whenever there's any enforcement, we're also taking trust building measures so that the community can have faith in what we're doing. We're also carrying out preventative work, both in the short term and the long term, alongside partner agencies in the community. Think citizen enabler more than public servant. The A stands for advocacy. What are you doing to be an advocate for everyone involved? And the C stands for communication. How are you going to communicate everything that you're doing to a variety of different sources? The most important one being community members. So there you go. Once we rectified all of those issues, this individual is going to have a really strong performing written exercise. And it doesn't really matter what the issue is that they're raising in front of you. When you use our systemized approach, the sort of SARA and PAT approach, TPAC, and there's other models we utilize as well. We've got over 40 proprietary systems and models that we utilize in our coaching programs, our academy programs. They're all ones that I've designed and we've designed over the past 30-something years now. So they work, and they seriously work. This individual, once they've rectified all of these things, will have a high-performing answer. It doesn't matter what the exercise is about, because we're applying a structured problem-solving system to this particular problem, or indeed any problem. So they could change the exercise on a weekly basis. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So hopefully this has made sense for you and is helpful. And like I said, if you are considering getting that sort of one-to-one support so that you can guarantee a pass, that's what we do. If you don't pass, we give you all your money back. I know it's bold, but we don't do many refunds. Then check the link below, description, complete the form, and then we'll have a discussion as to whether you'd be a good fit for the academy. If you are, fantastic, welcome on board. If not, we'll point you in the right direction. We'll always be honest with you and make sure that we're offering you the best service possible, because sometimes people just don't need our support. Or actually, one of the other things that we can discover sometimes is that for whatever reason, you're just not a good fit for the police. It might be educational qualifications, it might be your medical issues, it might be your fitness levels or something. We'll always be honest with you. We'll go through all of that with you on the call. Look forward to seeing you on one of them. It might be me running the call, it might be one of my colleagues, and we'll see you on the other side. Take care for now.